When I had that spot in Jack London, I was 4D, low key. But if you knew me, you knew I was the Monterey with my bottom bitch. Quick conversation, make sure you stay on your toes. I got a flight to Asia. Back when I managed at 6, I really took them trips. Sacrificed years in the game, but it got me rich. Life's a trip, gotta keep going. There's a lot to get. Came a long way, now my face on designer kick. Spending too much time with these hoes, nigga, get some chicken. These bitches go do what they do.
If you're enjoying this music, please go to soundcloud.com, Nico Angelo Music. Nico Angelo Music, that's NIKKOANGELOMUZIK. You can find them at SoundCloud. Please support all creators and artists. Do it.
Shout say daddy got a triple bang scale. Shout say daddy got a triple bang scale. Gucci man a player man at ATL. Used to come up, rapping in the league. Green diamond eyes on the board like a beef. Black eye lashes on the board like a beef. Gucci man a player, give me beat out your speaker. Me and Juice man, tell them what to do man. Used to be on road to Christmas, that shit in the trash can.
How y'all doing? I got another panel here today, but let me go with the AKAs. This is Doc, aka Dave Seltzer, aka Barmello Hayes, aka Big Boomaye, aka Man Mountain Dew, aka Booyaka 69, aka The Great Bukaki, aka Samuel Guevara, aka Cassius Claypot Rice, aka The Great Swaggamice, aka Super Del Fiend, aka Jushin Chandaliga, aka Super Cassava Nova, aka The Man Called Smang. It's a smash and bang fusion, aka Psycho Sid, aka your host, the full-blooded Locano, and I'm here today with two special guests, two men of great valor. First, from Stone Mountain, Georgia, all the way. He's a perfect 10. He is 10-4-10. How you doing, Tennessee?
Doing good. How you doing there?
AKA Tennessee Trilliums. And also, we're not alone. There's another guest here, all the way from Brooklyn. He is Swaggamice, aka the kingpin of New York City, aka not Marco Clark Duncan. We got Swaggamice. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. And like, it's a nice hot summer day. I don't know when this will come out. Maybe it'll come out. I don't know. But I just wanted to have a talk with you too because, two of my favorite episodes, two of the most laid back guys, some of my favorite posters who are deep in the cut, but whenever they post, like, I pay attention because, like, they always have something good to say. So yeah, welcome, guys. It's an honor for me to have you. And today I thought, like, what better to talk about than like what we like in wrestling. And one of the things I really do want to talk about, because there's been all this talk about them this week, about how they're the real number 2 promotion. I would like to talk about TNA and how you guys feel about Total Nonstop Action and their contributions to pro wrestling. I always felt like they never get their due because for their entire existence they've been the butt of jokes, and I don't think that's right in some cases. I mean, in present times, yes. Over the last like 5 years, yeah. Over the last 10 years, yeah. Um, but like there was this period from 2005 all the way through 2009 where people were actually excited about this wrestling promotion. We were excited that it wasn't just WWE in America. We were excited that we had choice. We were excited that wrestlers could go show up in another place and give us something. And that was what TNA represented to me. And I wanted to get your takes on what you guys think about total nonstop action wrestling, aka Impact Wrestling, aka Global Impact.
I was a fan. I was a big fan. I started watching in 2005. Really enjoyed it up until I remember then they started getting like Orlando Jordan and people like that. I think it was like 2009 or so, and I think I had to call it quits. And then I twinned it a little bit in 2010, and again had to call it quits. And then I came back in 2018
Yeah,
uh, when they had Pentagon and Austin Aries. That was a good one. And
yeah,
I had to back off the bandwagon with their partnership with WWE. I have no interest in that. Partnership with NXT, I should say.
yeah, yeah. Um, there was that little period in like the tens, like you were talking about, like Austin Aries, John Hennigan. You even had like Eli Drake over there. They were doing pretty good work, honestly. They had a pretty good show. There was like that era where there was kind of Bobby Lashley there too, where Bobby Lashley like hit on a level. You know, the Beatdown Clan. This is proto Hurt Business, proto Hurt Syndicate. Um, yeah, there was periods of TNA that I really did enjoy. Like for me, it was Christian Jump, and I was a big peep. I'm still a big peep, peep for life, and like him jumping, kind of like him actually being put in a main event position, made me pay attention to them. Because before
Yeah.
he had jumped, it was just like Jeff Jarrett doing Jeff Jarrett things. How about you, Tennessee?
I got first reading about TNA around 2003ish, I believe. 2003ish when I seen pictures on the internet of Road Dogg.
Hmm.
I think it was after the WWA tours in Australia.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then, of course, I had of course parents and uncles and stuff to keep buying the pay-per-views for $10. That stuff. But honestly, it was a good product during that 2002, 2005 time. We got AJ, we had Joe coming in there.
I
And
liked
then
our truth. I liked Ron Killings back then too.
he was serious and legit.
Oh yeah, he was saying things that people weren't saying back then. They're still not saying now, and yeah, it was some good stuff. Uh, and to what Swagger was saying earlier about like freaking the WWE NXT partnership, it doesn't really excite me in a way. I'm not the biggest like Joe Hendry fan, but like for the most part on the PLEs he's been on, he's been used as fodder. I mean, like even on the NXT PLE, he took the fall. It's and like that kind of like tells me what I need to know about the partnership is that WWE is always going to prioritize themselves over anybody else. So like expecting anything else is kind of a fool's game. If I compare it to how their relationship with AAA is, they're more like hands off and letting AAA do their own thing and letting AAA book a bigger star like a Dominic Guerrero, or and like having like the gimmick guy Grande Americana go over there and they're over. And what they're sending to TNA are people that really they're not really going to be using on the main roster or doing anything like that. So it's just kind of like they're getting like extras, and those WWE guys are getting their routines in, their minutes in on TNA TV. So it's kind of like, and I love when I looked at like I think the TV the weekly TV like a week or two ago, it was like all like former NXT or current NXT people in matches. So I think that's pretty funny. But what's going on right now is everybody's screaming about TNA might be the number two now. And I'm not sure where that kind of came from, other than people just wish casting or people just like being told that this is going to be the number two. What do you guys think?
Start back for the this whole TNA WWE partnership. It annoys me no end. Because then first year people coming in talking about the attendance. I just want to say, I done been to the shows when they was at Center Stage and all this stuff. Attendance for Impact at the time and TNA was going up around the time when Naomi came in and all the other good jazz and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what annoys me the most that they give them the entire blame about the uprising attendance, and that's not the case.
There was because I'll speak to it, like there was like a period before WWE stepped in. Again, it's funny, where they were doing a couple of good shows. This was like 2023, 2024. I was talking about like how, because I was so frustrated with MJF on AEW, right? Him and Adam Cole were like on every show. Sometimes they'd get like 2 matches of pay-per-view, and like it was annoying.
Every week.
Yeah, so I ended up like watching some like TNA, just like, cause I'll watch whatever, and then like they're presenting like solid wrestling, basic booking, and it was just simple. And they would bring in like New Japan people and AAA guys from time to time, so like and it would just be a wrestling focused simple product. And I was kind of digging it at that time. And like to what you said, like they would have like a name like Naomi, and I hate when people like kind of like just say Naomi's not like doesn't mean anything, but like she is super popular. And like she has a fan base. She has a fan base, and like they will follow her, and they followed her to TNA, they followed her back to WWE, and in WWE she's one of the she's an overact as the world champion there. So like kudos to her. But like I always like have this thing about like there's things that you can make fun of TNA for, right? You can make fun of like their whatever their production was. You can make fun of like their over reliance on old WWE names, because that's been something. But like that's their biggest thing. That's been what they were since they were founded in 2002. But like to be consistently surviving as they have, to have certain periods where they do have a fan base that appreciates what they're doing and they do put out some quality, but like everybody just always treats them as the butt of the joke. And I think part of that is the perception becomes the reality, and people just won't ever take the product seriously. And I know like Tennessee, you've been following them, as you've been saying, and it's just like when they would have those tapings like post pandemic, and like people would come to the shows. It'd be a smaller building, but people would come. And it's not like they're filling out stadiums. They're selling like what 2,000, 3,000 tickets. That's fine. But the whole thing is people wouldn't care if they weren't being pushed by WWE to be, oh, this is the number two. Or you're hearing like on all those radio shows about like from like Bully Ray Dudley saying like, oh yeah, they're going to be they have the possibility of being number two. Hearing that from Ariel Helwani, Bischoff. Yeah. It's just like, we can be realistic about it. They can make money. They can be a success. But saying this is purposely, you're making it part of your war with AEW and using TNA sort of as like a, because they don't want to put NXT up head to head against them anymore. They'll put another company there. And like, I'm just like, it's kind of sucks to see WWE use them in this kind of thing, but like I don't know. I never thought like TNA would be more than what it was like 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 years ago. It's just going to be like a nice promotion that hires wrestlers, gives them money, and then like showcases wrestlers that AEW and WWE don't showcase. But now it's becoming like a haven for ex WWE guys to go and get paid. And looking at their last couple batches of hires, they're like, I mean, I like it. It just looks like the WWE roster from 2023. So, what is there to say?
Well, for me, I don't mind it that it's ex-WWE people.
Yeah,
Unless it's those types that have something to prove, like Steve Mack. He totally reinvented himself when he came in.
yeah. I like Steve Macklin. He became like he was always a solid guy on NXT for all the problems that the Forgotten Sons had. Just due to that one guy. I always saw that that other guy. I forgot his name. It was Murphy. He was Buddy Murphy's tag team, but the other guy, Forgotten Sons, and
Yeah, Blake.
yeah, Blake, because like Blake and Macklin were good. They were solid hands, and Macklin actually got to show off his single stuff. He got to show off his promo work. Like this dude was in NXT for like years, and he was kind of like NXT sort of sometimes has like these hidden gems, like whether it's like Steve Macklin, whether it's FTR, because FTR were in there for like years before they became a tag team. American Alpha, like you would see like these freaking Street Profits. These are all guys that would have had chances, that wouldn't have had those chances to get over without an NXT. And then what NXT became was they became like starting to compete with AEW. So those guys like a Steve Macklin never got their shot to really be anything. So TNA was giving these people their shots to be something. Like even like TNA had their homegrown people like Chris Bay, Ace Austin, Chelsea Green. It's just they have people there that are very talented, and we just saw like Ace Austin just got signed by AEW. So I never like want to degrade TNA for when they do produce something that's tangible, when they have their hands on talent. Like one of the big names that's about to be a free agent right now is Leon Slater, and we didn't even know that Ace Austin was going to be released. So, and guys like Bailey, guys like Josh Alexander are finding people like Deonna Purrazzo and Taya. They're finding another life in AEW, and I think what TNA was during this decade has been like a proving ground for people to show like they can still work. Like even Leo Rush did a bid in TNA before he went back to AEW. So it's just like, yeah. So seeing that like where the switch is now, do you guys think that like TNA is making the right choice by becoming sort of a proxy for WWE?
No. But I'm going in this direction. They just fuel this narrative that there's only one way you can produce good pro wrestling.
Yeah. As a somebody who grew up with WCW, as like who threw WWF away to become like a WCW guy, I hated when WCW closed their doors and there was only WWE. I hated that I couldn't switch between channels on Mondays to like watch my guy Sting, right? I couldn't do that anymore. So like again, like the thought of TNA just like dying and going away, it pisses me off. TNA being absorbed by WWE, the thought of that just pisses me off because like I don't want that. That means less jobs for less wrestlers, and that means like less less innovation, less change. Like what you were saying, like Tennessee, about how wrestling's only done one way, and like that's what Bully Ray's been saying on that on his radio show, on the TV show, that the only way wrestling's done right is in WWE. How Bandito and whoever should come to WWE to learn to flip the right way, and like that does piss me off as a fan. And I'm not here like as an anti WWE guy. I'm here as a fan of progress, of wrestling making changes and
different
wrestling
presentation.
evolving. Just having choice.
Yeah, different presentations of wrestling.
Yeah. And when I think about it, like it does nobody like really any good for this to happen besides the billionaires running WWE. And to see like the fan base, like where were these fans like 6 months ago talking about TNA is number two, TNA is so good. They weren't there, and they're here now. But it's like it just feels, as opposed to all the other times they've had like because TNA fans are like some of the most resilient fan bases I've ever seen online. There is always like a couple guys who are ride or die for TNA. Shout out to you, Edgehead. And like they'll always like talk about the good times, and like those are the real fans. And the fans that I see now are just fans who aren't who are WWE drones who want to see anybody else rise up fail. And that kind of coverage, and then those people getting like the attention and engagement online, it's annoying. And
I mean, I think it's a good test. If somebody says anything about TNA being like a possible number two or whatever, it's a good sign that they're not someone that you need to listen to. Obviously, they have an agenda, or they don't know what they're talking about, which is fine. I mean, that's just not TNA's role in the space. What their role is now is just, I don't know, a feeder company, or I don't even know, for WWE or NXT, I should say. And
yeah.
I don't know. I just personally find that boring. I don't watch NXT. I don't really care about the people on NXT, so I definitely don't want to see them like working in another company. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bummer.
Because you say it's people that we shouldn't listen to. The guy who said it today, who just last week was burying them, Brian Alvarez, just came out today saying like, there is a possibility that they will be the number two promotion. That's my Brian Alvarez, everybody. And like, it's just like, you were just last week burying them for not doing business, burying them for being like, obviously someone talked to you and said, hey, we need this pushed out. And it's kind of sucks. It's kind of reminiscent of like you see politics nowadays, and like they'll push like a certain like a thing, and then they'll keep pushing that on the news as like the thing to focus on. So like the wrestling media acting as propagandist for WWE, only WWE, with only Dave Meltzer as like, and a couple of other guys. Shout outs to you, Matt, Rich and Jeremy, and everyone else standing up for what's right. And just it's sort of weird, you know. You never like, I would never expect this from the Wrestling Observer to be used to push the WWE narrative, but here we are. Who knows when they'll get to Dave?
No, I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. And yeah, my hope honestly is, I hope TNA all the is success, right? I hope all the is success. I hope, like AAA, it's more of like a boost than of a takeover, or like how it's more of like a partnership, like how they send guys to Noah to go to the dojo, or and things like that. But like by the way TV's looking, by the way how they took Mike Santana and Joe Hendry, and they look to be taking possibly Masha Slamovich, it's just people being fed into the NXT WWE machine. So who knows? And whatever you guys want to say on this, you can go ahead and say it.
I actually want to rewind, go back to we're talking about Steve Macklin and different people who were there. I think one of the things that TNA has done poorly is they'll have someone like Steve Macklin, and they won't really, really push them to the top. They give them a little bit of a push, but I think they kind of miss the boat on people. So they do that often.
Well, they definitely missed the boat on Macklin.
Yeah.
I said they definitely missed the boat on Macklin. I don't know if y'all seen the match he had with PCO.
Yes.
Yeah. That death match they had. Oh, it was so good. I'm a deathmatch guy, and usually PCO will not put a guy over, but he lost to Macklin, right? Yeah, he lost to Macklin. Usually PCO will not lose to anybody, so him choosing that means that he saw something in this guy, and obviously there was something in him, and there's still something there, but in this new regime they haven't really positioned him as a top guy. They relied on guys who've only showed up for WWE to be the main event, and it's sort of a little bit weird because you would think that with him being in that old NXT main eventer kind of style, like a Bobby Roode or even an Adam Cole, that sort of heel, that he would be kind of put in that place, but he's not. I think he's their version of the grand champion, whatever it is now. But he's just not positioned to be anything in there besides just another guy. Also a Jake something. Also he's somebody that I see real potential in, but it is what it is,
One of the gripes I have with TNA right now is just Tommy Dreamer and the lyrics they got to go. They're just stale, boring bookers.
Oh.
I'm just waiting for the day again. By heavens, by any chance, that Sammy, he just take the books. Because I see what he does in Revolver. He presents guys like that. And I see how they also presented Jeff LaCroix. It smokes everything that happens in TNA.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Sammy as a wrestler, but what he does in Pro Wrestling Revolver, because they had a couple shows here in LA, he books he's a solid matchmaker. So I'm sorry to cut you off, Swagger, man.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no, I agree with Tennessee. They need somebody with some sort of vision, someone with creativity. They just if I was watching TNA for a few years, I think probably from 2020 to 2023, and they had a system. They'd have X Division title match, and then the next TV would be, all right, we're gonna do a mini tournament where we'll do a 6-way match to figure out the number one contender. And sometimes the person who lost would be back into that thing, and they just kind of would do that, and they do the same thing with tag teams and women. And they do the same thing over and over again. There's very little creativity or just anything. It's just, I don't know, it's very paint by numbers. Just kind of get from this special to this pay-per-view or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was really simple booking. It wasn't game changing or anything like that, but at least the match quality was good.
Yeah.
For me, it was a nice little break from whatever they were doing in AEW with Punk and MJF and all that stuff. So it was just I remember it was the summer of 2023 when I was okay, I'll give TNA a chance, and I was why am I enjoying this more than AEW? Because I used to be super dyed in the wool. AEW is so good, they always do this good stuff, and then it just kind of got worse and worse. It got better. It's better now, but
there's definitely a lull.
There was a lull there, and then that lull was when I watched TNA and sort of paid attention. And so the guys Ace Austin, when Ace Austin had that Best of the Super Junior run, I was where has this guy been? TNA. Okay, I guess I'll check some of. And it's just I hope the best for them, and I hope we can get those guys. They still have a guy there, Leon Slater. that's a guy that I could see being something. They still have wrestlers there that have talent. There's that one tag team there from the Pacific Northwest. I forgot their name. I'm not the good
I
hands
was
with some.
thinking Center and
What's up?
Center and Sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the legacy of the X division is always gonna be like the high flying, the work rate. For me, I'm always gonna remember like the Samoa Joe run where he killed everybody. More than like the athleticism of like AJ Styles, and in the tens we saw that all the people who looked up to an AJ Styles, they ended up blooming like Osprey. You can't tell me that Osprey wasn't inspired by AJ Styles, because everything he does, it reminds me of AJ from the grace, from the attitude, even now the hair. It's just it. I have a love for some parts of TNA, but I also I laugh a little bit about the 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 Russo stuff, that Abyss title win, that Jeff Hardy title loss to Sting, where Sting said I agree. Like, this is stuff people remember because that's the infamous stuff. But there's still there's still some good in that legacy they have. That triple threat with AJ, Daniels, and Joe. The cage match with Joe and Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle versus Drew Galloway for the title. It's there was Austin Aries' run as like the top the greatest man that ever lived, with all the belts as the belt collector before Kenny was doing it. All that stuff was fun. That was fun stuff. And
TNA is a very frustrating company to be a fan of.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's such a definitive word for them, because they have so many like bright spots, but there's so many downturns in business, downturns in booking, that just
Yeah.
it's just wow.
With all this, I just hope they get their media right deal so they can pay people, so they can stay and build their own talent and don't rely on WWE crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's more of a AAA thing than what it is right now. That's what I'm hoping for. Because when I look at because I watched AAA, it's probably the best it's ever been since 2017. You know how crazy it is to say that the WWE partnership improved AAA? I was like,
Well, AAA was always known to be really, really bad, right?
yeah. The last time they were good was when Rey Mysterio was there, like in 2017, 2016. They had Rey Mysterio, they had Mystico, they had the OG Mystico. But that was the last time they had like any semblance of good, was 2017 for me. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Hopefully it ends up okay. I try to be optimistic when it comes to stuff, because if all you do is dwell on the negative, you become like a mad, angry person and nothing can make you happy. So I'm just hoping like you guys are saying, like it ends up being well.
Because pro wrestling need a healthy ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Wrestling is better when everybody's healthy.
But TNA being in bed with WWE is just it's not a healthy ecosystem.
It's not.
It like basically limits like the amount of places that people can go and really like get something over.
Yeah, I'm sure that because TNA coming in, and then also I know that Maple Leaf Pro uses a lot of WWE ID people. So like, who's next is what I'm like wondering. Because I know like GCW also that owner Brett Lauderdale, he loves pushing WWE guys on his show, pressing that like whether it's the Bloodsport shows or the other collective shows, he'll have like WWE people come on, and he always posts about WWE being the greatest promotion. It's kind of it's it's deflating, is what I
Yeah.
can say. Like, cause you want there to be more variety and more places for people to learn to wrestle and become better. But
Yeah.
like we're
Or to just try out ideas, different gimmicks or different, different things.
yeah, it's like everybody's gonna try to work the hard cam, work that same slow style.
Slow pace.
Yeah, people are gonna be talking during the match.
Oh,
Looking, uh, it's it is what it is. And like I was saying earlier, like TNA having bright spots in tag teams. Um, one of my favorite tag teams, the last like of this century, is Beer Money, and like their stuff would always hit. And like I would like to know, like, what are your guys' opinions on like tag teams? Because like tag team wrestling is probably one of my favorite styles of wrestling. You get all these bodies in the ring. You get guaranteed 4 different guys in a match, so you have all this variety. Sometimes you have like the tag team made up of a big guy and a small guy, or 2 small guys, or 2 balanced guys. I love I love fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom. So like having that kind of like, oh, I'll have like the Hulk team up with like Ryu or Chun Li and see like what kind of damage they can do. That kind of stuff was always interesting to me, and that's why like tag team wrestling has always like been an appealing thing to me. So, how about you guys? How do you guys feel about tag team wrestling?
I love tag team wrestling. Right now, I mean, the Bucks have been every week on Dynamite. They've been having great matches, so they've been seeing them back and like focused and look like they enjoy what they're doing. That's been great.
Yeah,
FTR is doing good stuff as well. And to go kind of off the AEW, Natsupoi and Sayari Ano are a great team in Stardom. They're a lot of fun.
how about you, Tennessee? What do you think about tag teams?
Well, tag team's a beautiful art form. Right now, we go off the Stardom route. I'm going to Ring Glory. It'll be my
Okay.
tag team for the year. Right now.
Okay.
Bucks have had a resurgent, a prove it year. They're showing them they ain't falling off.
Oh yeah. The Bucks had such a bad year last year. Not that the match quality was bad, just they weren't really doing anything with them as tag champions last year. So to see them come back, they do that tag tournament and they get themselves over in a different way. It's been pretty refreshing, you know.
You could tell that they're refreshed. You could tell from their bodies, their presentations that they're excited.
Yeah, they look excited to be there. They look excited to be doing the things they're doing. And like some of the times when I think about tag team wrestling, it's like 2 guys who look the same kind of put together. Like you got your Demolition, you got LOD, you got the Brain Busters. It's just like I always like that whole, like FTR does that too, where they have like the matchy outfits, and I think that part is pretty fun when you think about it. Like the Dudleys in their cameo, the Hardys in their Jinko jeans. Although, like I think about the Dudleys and the Hardys are about to have a match in 2025 after Devon had that stroke, so that's pretty dismaying. But like when I think about like the tag team wrestling and the tag team matches, 6'3", of course you're gonna think about the Holy Demon Army versus Super Generation with Masawa and Kobashi versus Kawada and Taue. You think about like, the hard hitting stuff. You were talking about Stardom. Why don't you tell me about Stardom, Tennessee?
Woo! Well, they got Saya Ada. She's so underrated. She's been underrated for years. She's just not getting a chance to showcase what she really can do as a powerhouse, must have. And Hanan, she's on the rise and come up being a young star.
Yeah.
Who they push right now. So that's my top team right there. Like
I
said
do.
earlier.
I do like Edith's chops. Every time she chops someone, ooh, You could feel it. Like, you talk about top choppers in wrestling. Right now, she's like a top 5 chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Like, you know, and then we talk about like, besides like these like legacy tag teams who started out as a tag team, there's also like some tag teams where it's like two mega stars come together. Like, you know, you talk about the mega powers with Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. You talk about the super powers with Dusty Rhodes, and what's his name? The Russian sickle guy. What's his name?
No, Nikita.
Nikita Koloff. Yeah, that super tag team. My favorite super tag team was Sting and Lex Luger, because you got two big muscle dudes. Two of my favorite guys, because I love Luger in WWF. Like, I liked him in WCW because like he was one of the first figures I had. If you guys ever had like the Galoob WCW figures, like he was just like, he was all yoked and like brolic and all that stuff. But like, yeah, you have Luger and Sting. They had that whole dynamic of, they're two big, powerful guys, but they're also super athletic. Cause Sting would do like the Stinger splash, and Luger does like a flying clothesline. They do power slams, press slams, suplexes. There's a match that they had with the Steiner brothers that I always love watching. And then like when Luger came back to WCW, and like him and Sting had like that thing where Luger was a tweener, but Sting was a face. I thought that was really interesting because I don't think they ever did that.
I don't think anyone's like replicated it as well as they did. Like, my friend and I still talk about that.
Look, he was perfect in the role doing.
Yeah, cause like he would be out there like talking with the Horsemen, chilling with like Dungeon of Doom, and then like Luger was even in the Dungeon of Doom cage match to kill Hulkamania. So like, but then he was still like cool with Sting, fighting like Harlem Heat or the Nasties or Legion of Doom. So it was just really interesting to see that. I don't think they can do that now, because I mean they kind of, someone either has to turn heel or face like they did with the Brochachos, because MJF became a face teaming with Adam Cole. I think that's the closest that we got to it in the current period. As much as that annoys me, but that's a dynamic that I think really hasn't been seen much. Because like I remember, and like there's always this talk about like in modern wrestling, if you're not doing anything, to grab a tag rope. So like I do like seeing the Brodito tag team. It's cool just seeing like two guys not doing anything right now, just like say, okay, we'll team up, because that's actually how like New Japan.
Bandito is the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah.
Don't besmirch the
not that he's not doing it, he is doing stuff.
Yeah,
but he just like took this month to like, because you know he was actually one of the most pushed guys over the summer as a singles guy. He would always get time, he'd do promos, he'd get like these showcase matches, but like him in this tag tournament, he's just getting so much work everywhere, and I like this guy, and I can't wait for Death Beyond Dishonor for him and Hechicero to go at it, because that's a matchup that I'm really looking forward to. But like Brodito versus if they do go Brodito versus Hurt Syndicate for Forbidden Door, I think that could be a good match. I did like the last time I saw Hurt Syndicate in a match was I think that was All In. That's the last match they've had. And they bumped, they sold, they did everything to get over the other guys in the match. I thought it was pretty good. So, and with a big guy like Brody and somebody as athletic and as strong and powerful as Bandito, I think that they have like the formula there to have a really good match. I don't know if you guys know this, but one of the few rumors out there is Bobby Lashley has this clause in his contract where he says he's not going to lose to any white boys.
I have not heard that.
So that's pretty funny to me. That's an unconfirmed rumor, but that's a little bit of a rumor. But it seems like he doesn't want to lose to anybody, so you know. But I think that match could be pretty good. And
I feel like legally you can't put that in a contract.
what's that?
I feel like legally you can't put that in a contract. That's begging for a lawsuit.
Yeah, that sounds like something
Especially
that
if it comes from
yeah, that sounds like something that Sonny Ono would have sued over. Gosh. Anything about tag teams, and again, you know what I was thinking about? Like sometimes Sonny Ono would come out there with um like Yuji Nagata and like a random luchador for a tag match. And I love doing that, like in WCW Revenge, where you go through like the like, because me and my cousins, we play that because like there's 16 of us, right? So what game are you gonna play where everybody can play besides like the wrestling games where you could play 4 players? And like we would always play the tag team matches, the tornado tag, because and then just have that chaos, because I love, and I think that also gave me my love of tag team matches, is just having that feeling of I love to do reenact this stuff with my brother and play like as the Faces of Fear, and or play as Sting and Luger, and like beat up my other cousins who are playing as like Psychosis and La Parka, or playing as the Steiner brothers, or playing as Crush and Brian. My other cousins would pick Brian Adams as Conan, and Conan as a team for some reason. I don't know why, but like just just
Because of fire.
that. Yeah, just having like the varieties you can go with in tag team wrestling, in your brain for your imagination, and the spots that you can do in a match. Um, like it's the combinations there, and like the like what you were saying, creativity. It's all there for tag team wrestling, as opposed to like a singles match, and a guy can like take a finisher and then that not be the finish because the tag team partner will break it up. So not only does the finisher get saved, but like that's such a good close call finish. I always love that when someone hits a finisher and then like someone just jumps in with like an axe handle to break it up. I love that spot in a in a tag team match.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a top 5 tag teams?
Hmm.
I got Midnight Express, Eaton and Lane.
Ooh,
I got British Bulldog.
solid.
Arn and Tully.
Mm.
That's like I said, they awesome. I got the Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay, that's solid, man. Because you chose Midnights, but Eden and Lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. And then you got the Horsemen on there. You got Motor City Machine Guns. Yeah, that's solid, man. For me, my favorite tag teams, it's kind of like it's just like my favorite wrestlers together. So like my number one favorite tag team is Sting and Lex Luger.
Okay.
Bar none. That's my favorite tag team. After them, it's the Steiners. After the Steiners, I'm gonna go with like I'll say Dub Matsumoto and Bull Nakano, because I went ahead and I watched all their 80s stuff. Even like WWE put some of their Madison Square Garden matches up on YouTube, so you could see like 18-year-old Bull Nakano in Madison Square Garden get heat. It's pretty good. And the last 2 teams, it's pretty simple for me. I definitely will always have a place in my heart for the Legion of Doom, because the paint, the spikes, the way that Hawk would talk. Ugh, what a like the whole gimmick. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
The Legion of Doom, because like
Well?
I'm big on characters. Well, you see, fighting you is like digging for a booger. That's one of my favorite ones. And you keep reaching and reaching and reaching, and you can't quite reach it. It's just good stuff. and then you go, tell him, Animal. Well, you know, and then like Animal would just be like yelling about stuff, and it's just like, man, I loved LOD as a kid. I loved the whole thing. I made me and my brother wore those costumes as little kids for Halloween one day because I know like I had my mom help me make the shoulder pads. We broke down like we call it a Bullock Bayan box. It's just like a cardboard box, and then like I painted it. My mom spray painted it red, and then we put like little like electric tick spikes on it. So I should find that picture. But yeah, they were my favorite tag team as a kid, and also besides them, I really love the work of Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader. Oh, if you guys never seen them as a team, just imagine those two together, like Bam Bam with the flames, and Vader. So there'd be two big, angry, bald, big dudes who could do moonsaults and splashes and headbutts and power bombs. You guys should check out their match against Hase and Kensuke and the Steiners and Scott Norton and Hercules Hernandez. They're one of like the few, because like I said, my favorite tag teams are always like my favorite wrestlers put together. So Sting and Luger and Bam Bam and Vader those are four of my favorite guys. And just like with the toys, seeing them together and like them becoming a team and just, oh boy, yeah. When I found out that they were a team because I could rent the tapes from the Japanese store, and like one of the tapes had Bam Bam and Vader like on there. Ooh, it was so good. So Swagger, you had your favorite tag teams?
Yeah, for me, I've got Sabu and RVD.
Hell yeah.
I've got the Young Bucks, of course. I have to have Heart Foundation. Shout out to Brett. 2015 specifically, but kind of around that time period, New Day.
Oh.
And then I'll go Chris Candido and Lance Storm.
Oh man. Yeah, Candido and Storm would usually have the best matches on every WCW pay-per-view. I'm trying to remember if Candido and Storm did have a match with Sabu and RVD, but like
They did.
yeah. But I always loved when Candido would do the blonde bombshell, and then the whole problems with Tammy Lynn Sitch and Tammy Lynn. I'm not gonna say that word because if I say that out loud, my wife will hear me, and then I'll be in trouble. I can't say that word in this house. And like just Don Marie and like their whole interaction, the promos they would cut. Candido would always be like a full on like he'd be a whole like can of spam. I love that team. Man, you just Sabu and RVD also, man. The tables, the chairs. I know people hated Fonzie with the whistles, but like
that was art.
I love Fonz with the whistle. I love his energy.
Yeah.
He's bouncing around everywhere, just blowing the whistle, yelling.
Yeah. Number one in the world, but daddy, we got Sabu and Rob Van Dam, daddy. Oh gosh.
Earlier, you were talking about the Steiners and Scott Norton about the matches.
Yeah.
As a kid, I always loved the tag team with Ice Train, Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice was fire. like you had Ice Train. There would be two big dudes doing like power slams and like that stuff. I mean, if you like that team, you'll probably like Scott Norton and Hercules. It's Hercules Hernandez from WWF. Their name in New Japan was the Jurassic Powers, which I think is funny. But Scott Norton was a big swole dude, and Hercules was too. But like Ice Train, RIP to Ice Train. That was when he passed away. I was like surprised because he wasn't that old, and I remember I liked Ice Train, and that song was smooth as hell. Woo woo. And it's like, Fire and Ice. Yeah, that was. And you brought up New Day, and like, how could I forget like New Day? New Day had so many good matches, so many good promos. They're pretty much, it's them and the Bucks as the tag team of the tens. Like,
Yeah.
there's no one else. Like, I mean, you could say like, because I love the Usos. I love the Usos. I love the matches that they would have with the New Day, that they would have with like, even though the promos with the Revival were like whatever, the matches were good. It's just when you think about tag team wrestling and like the Bucks, oh man, Rancho Cucamonga's own, my guys, they're my guys.
Everybody, that's it.
It's just like thinking about this stuff makes me happy, and like you just naming, all of us had different tag teams. If you know, it's like we all named different tag teams. We didn't name the same tag teams, and like that's the beauty of it. That's a variety.
But I want to point out something that most of the tag teams we named were from the 80s. During that time, those tag teams were in the main event. They were on money.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if we're ever going to get back to that point where tag teams can be a total draw for a company.
You can like, cause like the Bucks have main evented many dynamites, right? As like with the tag team matches, but they have never really had like a tag team main event, like not even like the trios match with Death Triangle main evented. And like if we talk about like top tag teams or like top trios, like the New Day might be my favorite trio, but then there's also like Bucks Omega. But I also personally love like Bucks AJ Styles as a trio, because when they would have their matches in like Ring of Honor, it'd go crazy.
Bucks and Cole.
Yeah, Bucks and Cole. You could put anybody with the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
And like get like quality. You could probably put Don Fale with the Young Bucks, and they'd get something out of him.
They'd at least have a banger pose.
Yeah. But yeah, guys. I always like when like I talk about this stuff and like we talk about what's good in wrestling. I always on my shows I always like talking about what's good, because like that's what makes you feel good as a fan. Like that's what makes you feel like, yo, I remember when I saw RVD and Sabu show up, and against them was Hakushi and Hayabusa. And like I remember like when Sabu died this year, that was the match everybody was pumping up, and I was like, hell yeah, man, you got two like there's no more of like a Fire Pro or like a WCW World Tour match than that match. And like it's just having like these guys all together and just in the ring for the tag match, and everybody's doing their own things, and these styles are combining, whether it's fighting with each other, different styles, or having two styles on the same. It's glorious, man.
Yeah,
And
I had that match on tape.
what's up?
I had that match on tape.
Yo, you recorded it from the pay-per-view?
Yeah, I used to record everything from ECW, so
Oh,
yeah, I
dude.
used to watch all that.
Yeah, next time we gotta talk ECW, because when I found them as a kid, I loved I loved ECW. For me, it was WCW, ECW, then WWF at the back end, and I felt like,
3 o'clock in the morning.
what's up?
Did you find them 3 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, over here,
It's
like
2 o'clock.
it was like maybe like 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I found them like on a weird channel, like Prime channel or something, and then also it was like on our local access. So like when I found ECW and like those teams, like when I saw the Eliminators show up on Raw and hit total elimination on Joel Gertner, who was like being like a ring guy, I thought that was the coolest move. Like, oh yeah, what are your guys' favorite tag finishers? My favorite tag finisher is definitely total elimination, the Legion of the Doomsday Device and the Steiner Dog. Those are my three favorite tag team finishers. And I know like we're kind of on a limited time, but if you guys want to name them, you can go ahead. But those are like my three favorite. Something about sitting on a dude's shoulders and waiting for death to come that always hype me up. But like when Saturn and Cronus would do like the total elimination and just set the guy up and just kill him, that was ooh. Or like the 3D is a cool move,
I was gonna say 3D, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3D are like there's so many like ways you can hit it and so many options you can get for it. Like it's cool to see like teams like the Usos or then even like Ten Koji would use like their version of 3D. And they
I like
did
the
it.
Shatter Machine also.
What's up?
The Shatter Machine.
Oh, Shadow Machine's a good one too. Like the setup with like that with that flapjack could be to anything, like, because like even the
Yeah.
guns use like 310 to Yuma, or
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just such a cool move. And especially I love seeing those tag team moves done through tables, like when it's a 3D done through a table, or like when the Hardys used to do that thing where they did like the leg drop and splash through, or like the finish of Sabu and RVD versus Hayabusa and Hakushi. They did like
Double leg drop.
the double leg drop. That shit was fire, man. How about you, Tennessee? What finishes you like?
I like the Steiner Brothers Doomsday Bulldog.
Yeah, that's so good. I loved when American Alpha brought that out on, like, they busted that out on FTR, on the revival on their I think it was the London match. No, not London. One of their matches that they had on the, man, those NXT takeovers were solid before, man.
I smiled when they busted out on SummerSlam. Boy.
Yeah. You know, like, cause like in the tens they did have, the thing about NXT was that tag teams did main event some takeovers, like, or like they would have like that match, like when you think about DIY versus like the revival for the 2 out of 3 falls in Toronto.
Yeah.
That's like, and like we make jokes about like Champa and Johnny now, but like back then they would have these kind of like such dramatic matches, and that's the only thing you could find in like tag team wrestling, is this drama. And I know like we're short on time, but I would like to thank you guys again for coming on back here and like giving me your time, giving me your energy, and I'd just like to thank you, man. It's an honor to have both of you on again. And yeah, if there's something you want to recommend people to listen to, whether it's a song of the summer or a song that you like, I would like to hear from you guys.
I would say go listen to Nick Hustles, getting rid of the bullshit.
Write that down.
Yeah, I'm an old head, so I'm gonna go look that up on the YouTube. Nick Hustle.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna check that out also. I've been listening to a lot of raunchy female rap, so.
Okay. You got a recommendation there, Swagger?
Let me see. I'm trying to pull up a song. I heard the other day, Ken the Man, who's actually a woman.
Okay.
And I think, what's the song? I think it was First. I think the name of the song was First. Yeah.
All right. First by Ken the Man.
Yeah, Ken the Man.
All right. I'm gonna say thank you guys for coming on. The only music that I've been listening to has been from cartoons, so like the thing that's been playing on my head is the "You're my soda pop, you're my soda pop," but on that one whatever Demon Hunter cartoon, that's just been constant.
I'm about to say you listen to Gummy Bears.
What's that?
I'll say you listen to Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears? I don't know who Gummy Bears is.
Oh, you never heard the theme song, Gummy Bears?
Oh, Gummy Bears bouncing here and there and every, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always pop that up from time to time. That one, and then like the Winnie the Pooh theme song. The I love Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. But yeah, man, the only music I've been listening to has been like from K-pop Demon Hunter, and that's just those same 5 songs on a loop over and over again. Swagger knows what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, having a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old like that.
But yeah, man, I want to thank you guys for coming on again. Thank you for blessing me with your time, blessing me with those music. Now I'm gonna like look them up and like put them on my Spotify. And for you out there, I hope that you're enjoying this show. I hope that you're enjoying these voices that I'm bringing on because I'm enjoying talking to them. And I always want to like go out like on like a positive note. So I'm hoping for the rest of the year everybody has the best blessings as much as they can have, has the best time of their lives, has happiness come to them, and has luck befall them, because there's only one thing that happens in life is time passes by, and I just hope that time passes by simpler, happier, and better for everyone, especially you two. So thank you for coming on.
Thanks for connecting us, man. Appreciate this. I've enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, do this for me ASAP.